Welcome to Ask Beck and Liz, where no topic is off limits. We want to answer your questions about business, life, and everything in between. So, Elizabeth, the topic today, the question today is, how do you cope when you are having trouble adapting?
Well, I can use this week's thorn, which was about having to tell my son that he has to go to virtual school to start the school year off, as an example of this. And basically what advice I gave to him, which was not only do you have to find the good things going forward, but when you're trying to adapt, I find that the more scheduled you are and the more structured you are, the less intimidating change feels. So if I'm doing something new or challenging or shifting out of my comfort zone, a lot of times I'm more rigid with the calendar. I have more lists of things to do because I don't know how long they're going to take, or I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So for me, I think structuring the things that I'm adapting to helps me feel more confident in trying to accomplish them.
What great advice. So it makes you feel more in control, even though it seems like the world is out of control.
Exactly. I grip that control harder and harder until I feel comfortable, and then I can let it go.
Take the reins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it a list.
Well, I'm going to have to do something I don't know how to do. Believe me, there's going to be a list involved.
Yeah. I got to make a list. I got to control the world through lists. I use a highlighter to mark them off.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I'm going to take Renee Israel's advice from her episode, and I'm going to put a success jar on my desk.
I love that suggestion that she made.
I have not done it yet, but I think that's on my list of things to do now.
It has to be a really cool jar. It needs to be one that you can see through and watch it to sort of fill up.
Have you seen those hurricane glasses from New Orleans?
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun one. I don't have one, but I want.
And boom, done.
That would be a pretty little jar with pretty little paper.
Yeah. Well, I'm less and less open to change as time has gone on. And I do find I procrastinate on decisions that need to be made or whatever. So when I feel stuck and I know it's time to adapt, it's time to do something different, then what I do is I take a huge risk. Okay, now it may not be in the area that I need to be making a decision around or need to change, right? So what I do is I will step outside. So that might be I jump out of an airplane with a parachute, right? Just something that says, I can do that. So I will take a risk. I'll take a dance lesson and I have 2 left feet, right? But I'll take a huge risk of some sort. So it kind of pushes me outside of my comfort zone, and it builds my confidence that says, shoot, if I can do that, then this little decision that I'm supposed to be making over here that I am unwilling to do because I don't want change, right? Then all of a sudden that doesn't seem so big. Now, I always make sure the areas that I take a risk in are going to have a certain level of fun to them, right?
They better be fun if it's a big risk, like jumping out of an airplane with a parachute. Have you ever done that, by the way?
I have.
Really?
I have. Yes, I did.
To avoid another decision?
So at that time, actually, yes, it was around that.
You have lived this advice. I'm so excited to hear this.
Yeah, you can't preach it if you don't do it.
Clearly.
Yeah, I was actually living in Mexico, and I had a software developer at that time, and it was just, everything went sideways. I mean, it was just a bad situation. He pirated my software and was selling it in another country, and I needed to handle and make a decision. I wasn't making a decision. So a friend of mine was having her 60th birthday, and she says, let's jump out of a plane together.
And you said, okay.
I'm in it. So we went down to Brownfield here in San Diego County, And somehow after jumping out of an airplane, it seems so much easier to make this little decision over here. And I could tell you other kind of goofy stories, but that's how I do it. I'm not saying this is right for everyone, but take a risk. So take a risk that you normally wouldn't do. Have it associated to a little bit of fun. It pushes you out of your comfort zone. And then the areas that you're being stubborn in and willful in and inflexible in and you're not adapting, all of a sudden that seems like nothing. So it turns out we're completely opposite on this. Mine is lose control. Just throw caution to the wind and I hold on as tight as I can. Yep. Yep. I wonder which is the more effective tool. I think it depends on the individual. This is why we do these shows, right? Yeah. Because you and I are very different in 1,000 different ways, right? But we get to the same result. Yeah. Right? And I find it so interesting. I don't know that I would have guessed that you jumped out of an airplane before. Or go sing karaoke, right? I'm a horrible singer. You don't want to hear me sing. So then it was gather some friends and sing at the top of your lungs. After you do that, nothing else is scary. Nothing, no risk is so large. No. That is too funny. Because I do think that thought, like when I'm working out and I'm hating it, I'll think I can do anything for 2 minutes. If this is 2 minutes of this particular exercise, I can do anything for 2 minutes. Exactly. I think that's more of a competition within myself than a risk. But it's a similar thought process. Like, well, if you can do that for 2 minutes, then you can get through the rest of this 30-minute workout or whatever it is. So it's still you taking control for 2 minutes. It is. Thanks for pointing that out. I'm still control freaky about it. You're still control. Even for 2 minutes, you're in control. Well, what crazy thing are you going to do this week? I'm going to start looking for more blessings, right? I think that's my number one goal this week is to do a better job counting my blessings because I am very blessed. I think that's a good one for both of us because I have focused more on the thorns than the roses this week. So maybe that will help get us over hump day and through the rest of the week. Woohoo! Yeah. All right, Miss Elizabeth. And everybody listening, thank you for joining us today. Where passion and purpose collide, profits are made and relationships are forged. This is Beck and Liz signing off and wishing you another purpose-filled and profitable week.